Joey, we're going to Ponderosa.
Here I am, just like Bill Cosby in the new movie Leonard Part 6, on yet another secret mission. Arriving, I enter cautiously. Then I see it.
Now get a Leonard Part 6 mini spy camera at Ponderosa for only 99 cents with any purchase.
All right.
Hi, Leonard.
There's a family feeling at Ponderosa.
MaJaMa. MaJaMa. MaJaMa.
Leonard! Good to see you.
Why did you send Monroe to kill me? Suppose Monroe had gotten lucky and killed me.
Then you wouldn't have been the right man for the job. Sit down.
Welcome back, everyone, to MaJaMa Jams, a show where we discuss other people's work to avoid doing our own. We'd like to start off by thanking any of you guys that are here, our regular viewers, the people that do regularly comment. That's a huge help to us. If you are here checking us out, please immediately drop a comment or a like. It's unfortunately very important. We live and die by this interaction. It would be amazing.
Why would someone like a video before they actually watched it? Let alone making a comment about a show they don't even know what the source material is going to be about or the conversation is going to be about. How would you be able to put a comment in the...
Put something below. Let us know you're here. It doesn't have to be love.
We asking for a fucking roll call?
It just...
Here!
We desperately need it, you know? We could be doing this for 5 years and it can never ascend, and we'd be like, no, it's just you naturally pump YouTube with enough stuff.
At least you realize it now.
So, drop those comments to our regular people, our new one, Spark Yo or Yo Spark. Thanks for being here. All that's important, sadly.
Tonight is a wonderful opportunity to remedy all that.
Yes.
Now, today is a very special day on MaJaMa Jams. We've all been friends for about 15, 16 years, maybe this year is coming up on. And some names live in infamy in our friendship that are repeated over and over and over and over again as a hallmark, a milestone of a WTF. What the fudge is going on?
Well, I think the only thing's missing here is to say the word.
Now, today is probably one I've heard more than any other movie Matteo's mentioned to me, and it did not live down to the hype. In fact, it lived up to the hype. It is Bill Cosby's 80s masterpiece called Leonard. Not part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but Leonard part 6, ladies and gentlemen. Wow.
I want you to do the synopsis.
This might as well...
I want to see if you can piece this thing together.
This might as well be a... What did I say during it, Matteo? I said this is like if Bill Cosby decided to make Freddy Got Fingered directed by Terry Gilliam.
Something like that.
And as much as that sounds like a what, no, that's how bizarre the tone is here. It's the tone of a... It should be a tone of comedy anarchy, like a Billy Madison, I said, if it wasn't so weird. But let's see if I, for once, can actually get what Leonard Part 6 was about. So, Bill Cosby is Leonard Parker. He is a family man /
He's a restaurateur.
Actually, I've completely forgotten that. But the big thing is that in
it doesn't matter?
In his free time, he's an agent.
No, actually, no.
No, he's retired.
He's retired from being an agent.
All right, just do it, Matteo.
No, let me try. So he retired from being an agent. Now he's a restaurateur. But we have a plot by his nemesis. Gun to my head, couldn't tell you her name. She is trying to make all the world's
Medusa
animals...
or something like that.
Is it? Just Donna Summer.
Donna Summer is trying to make all the world's animals ready for some hot stuff.
Because she's the villain and she's a vegetarian.
This is the work of a single heinous organization under the direction of a maniacal and sadistic woman. She's a vegetarian, a former ecologist, and she's bent on taking over the world.
She's a vegetarian. And every animal is being weaponized in order to attack, most of which we see this in the scene of frogs leaping a car like their own hydraulic system.
I thought it was that the sphere makes them aware of the abuse they're being...
Yes. And then they, with the trigger word, they actually attack.
Okay.
Quellish.
So the trout at the beginning attacks the guy that they show on the photo.
Oh, that was a great scene.
Yeah, and then there was the movie.
So they're trained to attack no matter what the animal is. And then Bill, after trying to get his wife back after banging a 19-year-old in a sauna and telling his daughter not to marry a 75-year-old.
Sorry?
He was just whipping her with holly leaves.
He was whipping her with holly leaves in a sauna. So he needs to get his wife back.
I mean, sorry, in the movie. Not in real life.
I have not been with a woman since Mrs. Parker left me. Almost forgotten what it's like to be with her. Out because of one silly mistake.
Terrible punishment, sir. Even if the girl was only 19.
You didn't do anything.
But to be fair, sir, Mrs. Parker did find the two of you naked in the sauna, switching each other with birch leaves.
I never laid a finger on that girl.
No, sir, just the birch leaves. Sir.
His daughter is marrying a 75-year-old.
Oh my God! I forgot about
jazz
that.
Man.
No, the director of the play that she's in,
right,
who is 66.
And do you know what else?
You're going steady with the leading man.
The director. And Daddy, he is wonderful,
He's
wonderful. And he's in the drawing room, and I want you to come on and let me introduce you to him. Wonderful. Daddy, meet Giorgio Frantosi.
Ciao, Leonard.
And she is 20.
And then Bill is pulled back in to go to the Medusa's lab to fight mechanical, ballet-footed bird.
No, he has to steal
guard
this
dogs.
sphere that we don't know exactly. Supposedly is the one that triggers the animals, but then she says, no, the liquids inside are not... Yes, something like that.
I know I'm jumping the gun here, but just to give you guys an idea of what you're in for, a near verbatim, I'm not going to fully get it right, but a near verbatim line is, "You fool, you tried to fill my sphere with dishwasher soap."
So, you thought you could fool Medusa Johnson by putting dishwashing liquid into my sphere. So, that was what was in it in the first place, you restaurant spaz. It's not the liquid that makes the magic. It's the molybdenum chromium catalyst.
And then Bill tries to go find these animals and fights bird, ballet, Wolverine clawed thugs, and then
he shaves a ballerina.
He shaves a bird ballerina, and it seems way too erotic.
Yeah.
And then he does something, and then his wife is like, "Okay, you rescued me, saved the world, and I don't care. You were whipping the 19-year-old with Burl Ives, holly leaves."
Berlusconi.
And then the world is safe.
And they are back together.
And he gets spaghetti on his head.
Yes.
Oh, yes, and then...
Which is funny.
She ladles soup on his shoulders, but in a sweet way this time, not like in
yes,
an angry way the first
but
time.
I mean, it's mathematical. Spaghetti on the head, funny. Except for here. Spaghetti on the head, funny. That's why they wanted...
It's big head.
Mr. Reynolds, what are you doing?
Yeah, I found this backstage. Oversized hat. It's funny.
No, it's not.
Sure it is. It's funny. It's funny because it's bigger than a normal hat.
I see that. Get back to your podium.
Take a look at that.
Yeah, I see it. Go back to your podium. It's not funny.
Then they went the distance, adding also a cake. So it's funnier.
Yeah. I think the main thing here is that you could see this being a failed vehicle, and it could just seem like a sci-fi throwaway. But the tone is so... Like, there's the DNA of a Billy Madison where...
Naked Gun, or Spy That...
Yes, but what you're saying is you're trying to come up with a logical comparison where, like, hey, Bill, you're at the... Another thing we should mention right off the bat is Matteo says apparently this was at the peak of Bill's fame as America's sweetheart, beloved dad, the peak of his fame.
And he
did this.
Apparently, he was watching Rambo which this movie clearly is a parody of. And
don't look at me.
And he said something like, "What if Rambo will ever meet his match? Somebody who is as buff and muscular and strong as he is."
Isn't the plot of every Rambo movie?
Yes, but
or
that's
every movie that features a.
That is apparently the origin.
I could have killed you. Been telling you the law. Out here, it's me. Don't push it. Don't push it, or I'll give you a war you won't believe.
What if a character had a nemesis?
Yes, but that apparently is what triggered this movie.
Do you guys think Leonard Part 6 is worse than all of the rape? Or are they equal?
Depends.
You know, I
depends
thought
on which
this,
one you're sitting through.
I thought this conversation was all going to just be about Bill Cosby rape jokes, but we have a lot to kind of get into.
What is it? What is it?
Mika, 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 Mika.
What is it?
I made your favorite. Oh. Oh.
Thank you. Cancel the grits.
I should start off by saying what's interesting is that we've been friends for so long that there was a time, not so long ago, when we would have put this on and it would have just been like, wow, this is wacky. But now in modern times, we have to juggle between well-worn, cliche, and perhaps insanely tired Bill Cosby rape jokes.
I never laid a finger on that girl.
And the discussion of this. And it's interesting because in our lifetime, since we met Matteo, we've seen some things. We've seen the birth of a new iconic Joker as we saw Dark Knight descend upon us in real time. And that movie become the classic it was. Whoa. And we've seen names that we thought were just beloved parts of our world, like Louis C.K. We saw him go from brilliant It Boy comic to just, as soon as you mentioned C.K., same thing. Michael Jackson.
What is it?
You know, it just became the kiddie jokes. And now Bill Cosby, in our life in real time, we have seen go from America's Dad to thanks to Hannibal Buress, nothing but, Cosby, go to the rape joke.
I never laid a finger on that girl.
Well, now he's coming back to going on tour, so...
Is he?
It's all full circle. Yes.
Louis or Bill?
Louis been on tour.
Both.
What
Louis
the
been on
fuck?
tour
No, I know Louis been on tour. But Bill's...
Yeah.
Wait, he's out of the prison?
Yeah. Well, when he left one of the trials, that they asked him how did he go or something, he answered making Fat Albert laughter, which was one of the most bizarre things.
Dude, I mean, once again, there should be probably hundreds of other people in prison with him who helped cover up his...
nefarious plots.
Sure. But how the fuck... yes, Louis, whatever. I mean, that's not to discredit what he did, but Louis just jerked off in front of some girls. Yes, it's still bad. But he actively drugged and raped girls while they were unconscious for years. How can this
Better
dude
or worse
get
than when they were conscious?
back on stage and start telling...
He was America's favorite dad.
Well, what I will...
I don't know. It's
I don't.
The
I will
justice system is something that escapes me these days.
Well, it also seems like pushing aside people's personal feelings on a hot button issue, it does seem like base level branding. Golly gee, America's Dad. You know, growing up, Mama put me in 2 pair of shoes, and that's just a base level, like it's in your head. That, you know, it's like the Rock Hudson thing. Like, it would be better if we were more evolved, but if people know you're sucking cock, we can't make pillow talk too. So you gotta, you know what I mean? So on a base level, it almost seems like, are there people that, I think, this is what I'm trying to say, is I feel like even if you were like, I don't think you did and I don't care, the firestorm means that a stigma kind of permeates no matter what. You know what I mean?
Yes.
However,
No, I don't think you were negating my point.
No. But however, when this movie came out, nobody had any idea that Bill Cosby was a horrible, horrible, horrible human being.
Some people did.
Some people did. But let's say that the vast...
I'm very familiar after last night. So I was walking in here?
The vast majority of the audience didn't. So I don't think it would be fair to judge it because of what he has become today.
Oh, it wasn't about judging. It was just about
No, or at least not judging. Yes.
I guess my shock is just imagining him going on stage and like you were.
Oh yeah, no. Now, yes.
Dad jokes again, and be like, who the fuck is gonna actually sit? I mean, every time he made some sort of comment or sexual innuendo that's not even intentional, we were just like, oh my god, this is just perfect fodder, for take out of context to make a joke.
Yes.
About.
Well,
but I don't understand anything anymore.
It's been 7 years.
I do think it's interesting.
No.
That independent of feelings, and I understand it's a tricky thing, but I'm just saying...
It's not a tricky thing.
No, but I'm saying that it really does become a human being gets relegated to one cornball 1980s nightclub joke. Like Michael Jackson, independent of anyone's feelings, and let's even say independent of the truth, Michael Jackson becomes... Yeah, Michael Jackson was at Kmart. Here, little boy's pants was half off. Louis C.K. becomes a whacking off. Eddie Murphy becomes a transvestite. Fucker. Okay, maybe that one's not as omnipresent. But you know what I mean? It's fascinating how, and I'm not doing woe is them, but it is just insane how these humans get relegated to one thing. Like,
those are pretty signature.
But this is why it's just fascinating. I know you're right. We have a lot to discuss with Leonard. We got left tracked here, but just because you can't ignore it. That's what I'm saying, is that we saw Louis go from, oh my God, me and Conrad and Matthew enjoy watching this guy, and he just had a new special come out. It really seems like he found his voice. Oh my God, he's got another. They get better and better. We went from that to like, wow, my hero, I'd love to see him, to seeing Louis C.K. Louis. That's all you will ever see for the rest of your life. That's all. Even if you love him and you still want to go see him, someone will say Louis C.K. and you'll just be whacking off. And it's just insane.
I guess the masturbation is not the worst part. It's just trying to silence the girls when they're saying something about it.
It's always whenever you do a crime, whichever it is,
cover up.
And I'm calling that a crime
of passion.
Of passion.
His passion.
Yes. Yes, the cover up to me is also as equal, if not worse, in certain cases, because it's much better to embrace what you've done and say.
Oh, you don't want to touch him. You want to kind of keep his distance.
True. Don't shake his hand whenever you meet him. Is like the.
Well, let's just stop.
Should we just move on to the movie?
It's just like the Woody Allen thing and everything. Are we allowed to laugh to movies now that we know that is retroactive? It's very weird.
I think once he dies, it's okay.
No one on Earth, unfortunately, can adhere to immaculate morality. And even if they were, perhaps...
Speak for yourself.
Perhaps, like they said, something hasn't come out yet. But it's just...
I think it came out.
I think it came out.
But I'm just saying that no one, everyone at some point tries to be like, well, how could these people support these people? I guess humans are too fallible, and unless you just live your life in like a Scrooge-esque existence, just exhaustively researching people and making sure you don't support them, and then maybe even you're still in the dark, like...
I mean, I don't think anyone really can support themselves.
No one can really...
No, and there is also a lot of hypocrisy, because you say, ha ha ha, oh, I love this, ha ha ha, ha ha ha, he did what? Oh, I hate it. No, everybody is mesmerized in front of the Mona Lisa. But then if you learn about Leonardo da Vinci and the fact that he
was a homo, right?
Yes, he liked to dress in as a woman. He had... and then what do you say? You say, I don't like it anymore because of him? No, it's... the human is fallible and he's doing horrible things. But if with his or her profession has gifted to the world something that you say, fine.
I guess it's easier with that
Yes.
tangible art versus
Yes.
your personality, or let alone your stand-up or
Probably, yeah.
Well, I
philosophy
think
on life. I think it's harder when it gets more intertwined like that.
Three-dimensional is very simple, but I think it's very difficult, and I think the reason those attitudes come up is because the human brain struggles with, it's as simple and as funny as you describe it. Like, I love Billie Jean, he might have sucked a kid off. I love Billie Jean, he might have sucked a kid off. Wait a second, sucking a kid off is terrible. Michael Jackson is a terrible person. I simply can't accept the fact that there's such a thing as a layered human being, that one part of him might have molested a child, and another part produced great music that changed my life.
Wait, he produced it while he was... Oh.
How can you even sing at that point?
Producing a lot in that studio.
I never laid a finger on that girl.
However, having said all that, let's talk about this piece of crap.
So,
I mean, I think that we took off the elephant in the room, if you will, and just like, let's demolish the movie because it deserves.
This is
we could talk about rape all day.
Yeah, of course.
This is genuine jarring tones.
Yes.
A complete tossed salad of them. Just so, I think...
So sweaty.
Yeah.
Like, there's a scene in the, I think at the car after he gets the gear up scene, and he is just fucking pouring, just drenched in sweat.
I need to stress this to whoever's watching, is that when you were commenting on that scene, I just gave a little chuckle because I was like, well, it's funny, but it's so blatant that there's no way, like the joke you made, in a Hollywood movie no one would notice. So I'm like, well, clearly I missed something. It's like, oh, the car's hot, or he's gearing, so he's getting up. And I wasn't laughing as much, but then afterwards I'm like, wait, why? Like, he is just
But then you have the
drenched
you have the comparison of when he's when he has all the action scenes and he's just fucking dry as a bone, and you're like, wait,
Yes.
okay,
just soaked,
like fucking
and
mopping
light
down, and
picks up
then
every fucking
It makes no sense. I don't know if it's... I mean, granted, part of it is probably because it's a Blu-ray, so it's sharper and everything. But still, he is...
it just covered?
He is
that
embarrassed.
suit's probably hot as fuck.
Yes.
Well, the first thing that
Like,
got,
how long did it take? Just okay, okay, go.
That's why you have makeup on set.
The first thing that got to me
They
was
didn't bother
as
with it, it
soon
was
as-
just drip right off.
As soon
Yeah,
as
right.
we get to Medusa's lair.
Is that her name?
Medusa! Medusa! Government agent on Pier 1. Government agent on Pier 1.
No, but we're going with it.
Wait, let me see.
Careful with Spidey. His hands are hooked on it.
Who's fault is that?
I'm doing it. This bad.
And?
Sorry, I didn't put it over there. Okay, fine. Medusa Johnson.
Medusa Johnson.
Yes.
Okay.
Not the Johnsons family.
Yes.
When he first arrives at Medusa's
That's
lair,
a woman. Oh.
it feels like this is the end where our hero has
Yes.
finally discovered
I
the lair.
fucking wish.
And you're in the okay, guys, third act. We got to go in. We got to hit him. I found a way into their lair, and he's creeping in. And it's like maybe 20 minutes in or so, and we just left like all the classic dad tones where it does seem like a Cosby vehicle. He talks to the daughter, he talks to the wife, she's still pissed at him. And then all of a sudden he gears up and we're there, and that's when I was really like, wait, did we establish? I mean, yes, I know.
No, he's got to steal the sphere the first time, which is why it seems like
Yeah.
it's the first break-in.
Don't mind me, you guys keep dancing.
So he steals the sphere after fighting the bird people.
Also, this is the reverse of a lot of Jam's movies where, like, when Frogtown ends, it's like, man, it felt like 3 hours. You're going to say, no, it did not. Shut up, Jason. But this felt like it was over like that. We deliberately picked, like, I think an hour and 23-minute one. But, man, this was just like, just shuffle it along. Maybe they won't notice. Just go, 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 go. And then, boom, just done.
No.
In certain moments, it looked like that had they put everything that they shot, it would have been 3 hours. Because there are some jumps, and like for instance, the scene. Why is his all of a sudden his butler driving the bus of the
Magic?
Oh, Magic.
Because she goes like.
Oh yeah,
she does,
and they switch and everything.
She does something.
But it's not that clear. It
Plus,
doesn't come into play.
Why does it have to be that weird? Why are you going so fucking
when
out of
he
the box?
when he does the when the bus skids and a vase crashes through the restaurant.
Yeah.
Again, it comes out of nowhere. Is not set up.
Maybe this is a good comparison to Hudson Hawk, which we just a couple of weeks back did the Drug of the Lost and Found.
That was like a year ago, man. What the fuck have you been?
But I feel like we should stress to the viewers, this is so strange in that I don't know if they can really, like, I was shocked by how, I'm trying to think of how to phrase it, like, if you twist this a couple knobs to the left or right, whatever the metaphorical knob is, you get like almost a Freddy Got Fingered or Billy Madison, because granted, it does not congeal and it's jarring, but there's a comedic anarchy at work. The vision is half-baked, but my question coming back to it is, how do you...
You don't.
Okay, let me put it this way.
Don't touch me.
Regardless of the infamous reception that Freddy Got Fingered got, anyone who'd been watching the Tom Green show would see the normal path to that's what your show is like, that's you. Hate it, hate it, hate it, whatever, that's a natural path from the guy running around in public.
Who are you, Roger Ebert?
This, I wish.
Because
this...
Yes. I hope so.
You should take it again. What are you, Roger? Yeah, fuck it. That would have been your line, though. You're fucking up the show. This...
Flawless. Flawless. The delivery is flawless.
This, you have the king of the family sitcom. Has there ever been more of a success story than Bill, America's Dad Cosby?
Yes! You were up to him a few years later.
And then you come up with this?
Yes.
Yes! It's like if you pitched Tom Green
Plus
doing
the
like
height-
Sleepless
the
in
height of
Seattle,
your
was like,
career.
let's make him do like a rom, like what? How? Because this is a Terry Gilliam vomitorium, weird, winky, Cat in the Hat, R-rated jokes for kids. What the fuck?
One of the I don't want to say clue, but one of the witnessing from the witnessing.
Whitpro.
One of the comments from the set came from Paul Wieland or Weiland, I don't know, forgive me, the director, who also came from directing Mr. Bean.
Hello?
Goodness me, what a responsibility.
So he knows how to shoot a visual gag, a visual joke. And he said that Bill Cosby at that time it was such this titan for television, because it was just like unbeatable, that he was surrounded by a lot of people of yes man, yes man, yes man, and nobody dared to tell him that it wasn't funny.
Bravo, sir! Thank you, sir.
Why did he push so hard for certain things, though? Like, it just seems like you're really cranking everything up to make it that much weird.
Not only that, but
cartoony.
apparently when the director confronted him and said, "This doesn't work. It's not funny," Bill Cosby's retort was, "You worry about constructions. Let let me do the funny.
What's that supposed to mean?
And apparently there were some, because for instance, a clear example, the idea of them vanquishing the army of lobsters with melted butter.
What's this, Leonard?
Melted butter?
Melted butter.
Melted butter. Yes! Melted butter! And if you don't cut the wires, I'm gonna thermidor you! Melted butter! Pull! Melted butter. Pull! Melted
Get back.
butter!
Melted butter.
Melted
butter. Melted butter.
Melted
On paper could be funny. Could say, okay, well, what's the best enemy for lobster is melted butter, because but the execution was clunky.
It's just a softened stick of butter in the wrapping. In your
Yeah,
pocket.
and it wasn't that clear, and it was just like so.
Well, again, I brought it up, and then you guys were kind of like, duh, because you put melted butter on lobster, but that's the point, is that it's not exactly, it is and isn't. It's like, okay, yeah, so you put butter on the lobster, but the joke is the lobsters see it and realize that's how humans consume them and start backing
Only he says, I'm
away.
gonna photosynthesize you. He says something to the lobster.
Does he?
And if you don't cut the wires, I'm gonna thermidor you!
Which brings it to the bigger question.
Why was Zara topless in the play?
Who was this movie made for? Because it's not a kids' movie.
It's rated PG, but I'm guessing this is pre-PG-13.
Yes. Yeah, around that.
Well, here's another valid question as we break down the craft and mechanics of a movie, as we do. Story by Cosby, screenplay by another guy. My question is, how much was this just... How much specificity of this weird vision was in his story, and how much was Bill maybe like, you said, what if Rambo met his match, and there was another guy, but a little super agent, he's still a family man, like I would play the guy, and then this...
Write it.
Yeah, Bill had like a base level idea that makes sense, and then whoever this writer was like, and then this,
and how
and
was
then
this
this,
his
and
match?
then this.
How was she different than any
it
sort
wasn't.
of...
Yeah, exactly.
Bill, and why is she special? Why is she
Wait,
catered...
but I thought that meant, what if my protagonist was Rambo's match, or no? He meant like, what if Rambo just... Because that's why Matthew's joke of like, what if there was a tough character who met their match? Like, isn't that literally what every movie about a tough character has to be?
No, I think that's what he means, that he wanted to have a villain that could match a Rambo-type character, but why with the specificity of the animals...
and also a vegetarian.
Yeah, like he wasn't an overly macho guy. Owning a steak restaurant, something like that. He was killing so many cows that she had a personal vendetta against him.
What have you done to these animals?
I have done the unthinkable. Told the animals the truth, that they have been exploited and tormented by man for 2 million years. In less than 15 minutes, I will switch on these distribution pumps. And the contents of the vats upstairs will flow into every single waterway in the Bay Area. The animal kingdom will be liberated. The world will shudder.
Wait, her plan was...
I don't
Her plan was that, yes, you're going to make... The sphere is going to make them aware of their abuse and slavery, but then, because of that, they'll revolt.
No, well,
So it's
Matteo
essentially-
said there's a trigger something in there too, right?
There was a trigger word to make them attack, because he makes the rabbit attack his
Listen,
bosses.
guys, I literally got like an hour of sleep last night. I had to go to...
You had to do the dishes.
Had
that
to do
Matteo
the
asked you to
dishes.
do to help out.
We can't keep doing this.
Something told me at a glance that the evening had not gone well. Was it the tie, sir?
Okay, the scene where they release a trout into a pipe that goes into a pool as an assassin, and the trout is going through a very classic, like, junky, gaggy stuff on the bottom, fish bones. He passes by a Playboy and turns
Comes
around
back.
to relook at it.
It could be a woman trout.
Seeds there of a comedic vision.
Yes.
I'm not saying that's the greatest joke, but the joke to a
We did it.
degree has balls in its absurdity.
Also in his mouth.
It's gay. What are you, gay fish?
We did the joke. And bad CGI sharks.
Mhm.
The shark looking at the girl in the window.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah, because we.
Wait, what?
The trout stopping to look at a Playboy magazine is the same thing that we
Oh
did with
shit,
the
we
shark
ripped off
looking-
Leonard Part 6.
I knew it. We're all goners.
Ah, shut up, Madison.
What a movie to rip.
Well, I think...
No, but don't you see what I mean?
No. What are you talking about?
Also, you've definitely shown us that shot before. It was like flashback in my mind. But
that Playboy?
Yeah, this fish with the Playboy. There is something at work here. I would love to know.
Do you have that issue?
Yeah, of course.
This is one of those times where I would love to have an exhaustive behind-the-scenes featurette
Yes.
where, okay, part 1 is Bill getting an exhaustive breakdown of what was his story pitch. Part 2, our screenwriter. We talked to him direct from the horse's mouth. What did you write? What did you think Bill's idea was? What did you come to it? Part 3, we get into the actual filming and this head-to-head with the director. I want an exhaustive breakdown because I think...
And part 6, this movie.
Yes, part 6, this movie.
Did you get to part 5 and not
I
do the
didn't.
6 joke?
No, we skipped.
No,
We skipped
but
4 and
nice
5.
pickup.
Okay.
I would have been more hated if I got it there and didn't do it. But
Well, we still hate you enough.
it's like you talk about McKee saying, if you're going to try to write a movie, get some great examples and get a couple of pieces of shit.
Yeah.
I feel like
This is a piece of shit.
I feel like this would be a great tool for film students to discover the path from story by to finished product because I am so curious. Genesis to on screen, what the fuck happened? Genuinely, maybe Bill didn't have such a bizarre. I mean,
Well,
you did
but going
say,
back to Matteo's point too of who this was made for, like, was it just Tom making his Freddy got fingered and just saying, "Fuck it, I want to do this. I have money." They're
Like,
saying, okay,
I made the point when I can do this.
Because I think
So is he
that
just
they-
making it because he thought it would be fun?
It looks
But
like
then he said he went on TV and said, "Don't see it."
Yes.
So something happened that Bill.
As a producer, also, he tried to buy the rights from Columbia.
So right, the plot thickens. So what happened between
I think
you
it's
let me do the damn funny to, I'll go on TV and tell people not to see it.
Right.
Also, following the storyline, it was released, and I assume took it in the ass, both financially and critically.
Yes, it cost
physically.
about.
I'm so mad. Is there any way we could personify this movie just so I could edit it?
It cost about $24 million back then, and it made 4.6 at the box office, at the global box office or the worldwide box office.
Bill is one of those people that's a god in one medium, but never really translated to movies,
No,
right? Never really was
no.
able to find the
It
snappy
never,
hit
it
of the...
never, ever did
What else
it.
did he do?
Ghost Dad?
Hey, look who's back!
Daddy!
Are you okay?
Oh, yeah, I'm just fine. It's just fine. As soon as I get this landing down.
Ghost Dad, he did California Suite, I think.
Spy Hard is a TV show.
Yes, no, Spy Hard.
I'm sorry.
I Spy.
Thank you.
I'm writing a blank check. You fill it out and shove it up there.
No! Hey! You don't use that language in front of the ladies.
The ladies are unconscious. They can't hear us.
And Fat Albert was a cartoon. Yes, he makes a cameo in the movie.
Fat Albert.
Who is it?
I'm Fat Albert.
Yeah, right.
I'm looking for Mr. Cosby. Are you his dad?
With
What year was that?
Keenan.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
What was it? 2003, 2004. I don't know the cartoons. Cartoons were much earlier. But yes, there's never been really a movie vehicle. I don't know if this one, he wanted to do something like, oddly enough, another parallel to Hudson Hawk, going down the Bruce Willis route. That Bruce Willis was very famous with Moonlighting on television, and then became an action star, pretty much. Then, yes, he did comedies and stuff, but when you're thinking Bruce Willis, usually the first thing that you think is action flicks. And so I don't know if this one was the attempt of Bill Cosby of becoming kind of like a suave yet funny spy.
It's just like
thing.
you took it like fucking just barreled straight through as opposed to like, okay, let's try to find our footing.
Well, the funny
the route of going number 6 is a great, funny concept.
Yes.
But you got to do something with it, like flashbacks. Keep referencing the first 5 adventures or films, whatever you want to call
And
them.
one of the things that it's missing is also the Bill Cosby riffing on certain things. Usually,
well, we get a glimpse in.
Yes.
There's a back-to-back daughter scene with the back-to-back wife reconciliation that feels very.
A little bit,
in,
yeah.
In those, I see. If you were to pitch that movie, I'm like, oh, of course you're playing on Bill's strengths, but the strange thing is, it feels like the same energy, like I said, of a Freddy, of like, I'm deliberately saying, fuck you, I'm going to do what I want, because there is just the plowing through of, let him figure it out.
I have the idea that a movie like Freddy Got Fingered is closer to a movie like, forgive me for the comparison, Jackass, meaning, we can do so much on television.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move to the movie media. We can expand and do something a little more.
I'd like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony. I'd like to hold it in
This one, it really makes not too much sense because because you say, okay, I'm doing a sitcom. I have a short window to do a movie in that year. This is what I pick.
Yeah, it's true.
Well,
which also, I mean, probably got half of it. It was paid for by Coca-Cola, because there's a scene where he's holding the Coke bottle in front when he's arguing with his daughter that
I feel like
Coca-Cola,
we're
and
gonna
then
do a
lava
disservice.
soap and
Yeah, what was up with the lava soap everywhere?
I guess money. I guess.
But no, it was just in the back room.
It made no sense whatsoever.
Because it was just stacked on the
crates,
side,
yes.
and then when he ties the mom up and kidnaps the mom,
Yes.
Before he gets into the room, it's all over the floor.
And it makes there's no.
I kept thinking, like, what is it? Why is there?
I didn't notice that.
And then there is a Safeway or whatever.
I feel like we'd be doing a disservice if we don't start to actually list all
This
the
entire episode is a disservice.
weird components. We should list all the weird components of this movie. I don't know if we've listed all of them. he gets ballet shoes.
Oh,
They're
no,
trying
wait.
to do an intent.
I'm sorry. Yes.
No, go ahead.
No, the even more jarring. The movie opens with 3 scenes taken that we will see later on, which is suspect being a decision made in post-production. Also adding a lot of narration of the butler, which was also wrong for the tone of the movie.
There's a logical explanation why Leonard Parker found himself flying through the air, 1, in an armored Porsche, 2, wearing ballet slippers, and 3, on the back of an ostrich, all in the space of 1 week in San Francisco.
Oh yes, the voice, that calm voice over action scenes, did not work.
But yes, those scenes, as you were saying, you think, oh,
Yeah, like when you showed me couple of years ago. He showed me the first 5 minutes of it a couple of years ago. I could have sworn those were all clips from his previous adventures, which would make sense to sell the gimmick of Leonard Part 6.
Yes, because the gag of the movie is that
Mr. Parker, whom I have the honor to serve, is a man of exceptional talents, whose 5 previous adventures would, I'm sure, have enthralled you, had they not been confiscated in the interests of world security.
so we will never, thank God, see them. Well, they don't say thank God, but yes. And then there are this, because that's the thing that I find it weird from the get-go. There is a shootout in a kitchen.
Make spaghetti, Scotty.
Nobody's bothered by it. No, it looks like the bar scene in Hudson Hall.
I was going to say, we had an almost verbatim discussion of how you can do that. It's been done many a time that no one notices the crazy shootout, but the tone both here in Hudson makes you pause. Simply said, the right tone should not make, you shouldn't be questioning why no one.
Right.
You'll go with the movie's world. But here and in Hudson, the tone is jarring enough to like, why is no one noticing bullets?
Yeah, you got to at least have a chef turning around and missing the
Yeah,
bullet.
I like the gags that it makes the oil drop into.
Yes, but you need to like
That's
Mr.
fun. That's what I'm saying. There could be a
You
language
got a Mr.
there.
Magoo with this shit where it's like
Yeah.
he's blind, so he can't see anything that's happening, and he's
Or do the
walking up
shootout on a rafter. Kitchen don't have rafters, but whatever. And the bullets ricochet in the kitchen, and then so the chefs are completely oblivious of what's going on.
Yeah.
But they are in the line of fire, and they don't bat an eye whatsoever, and it's very strange.
Yes, they're actually shooting right between them, around them, automatics.
Yeah, you would think at least somebody, you know.
Or like, dude, one chef is drunk and he's working by himself, and he keeps wondering, "Oh my God, is this the alcohol?" Or
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can do something like that, but like this, it was very strange. And
one might think with how early in the movie the bullet restaurant, it seemed like, oh well, okay, maybe it's a wacky movie. Let me give it a chance. And yet, I think all of us were like, how come no one notices the bullets? Because you can sense that something about the world I'm being presented is not, even in this early phase, is not congealing.
Even in Naked Gun, at the end, in the first one, when they're having the discussion in the football field that Ricardo Montalban has a gun, the people around it acknowledge it and scatter, or at least try to stay away.
Stay where you are, Drilling.
He's got a gun.
I know. You ruined my life, Drilling. Now I'm going to ruin yours.
Leave the girl alone.
I am. I'm going to kill you.
I see.
Two can play at that game.
Plus, the scene where he kills Fred
Durst,
Judy Garland,
the weird David Bowie.
Yeah, yes.
Johnson.
Oh yeah, with the hot dog.
Yes.
I'm not afraid of a little meat.
His head explodes from eating a hot dog.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Also, the head exploding, coming back to the "Who is this for?"
Yes, because it's
my
a bloody
family
stump.
audience is coming to see this, and again, I'm not saying it's ridiculously. It's not explicit for idiots like us, but if you're we're all going to go see Bill's new movie because we love watching The Cosby Show as a family every Thursday night. And then you'd like heads exploding from biting off hot. Like I said, that's a trauma vibe.
Heads exploding from biting off hot dogs.
That's a trauma movie.
And not only that, but the henchman or whatever you want to call them, the guy with the buff guy with the tank top.
They got some fat asses, huh?
They were...
Oh my God, I noticed that. I was like, Jesus Christ, this fucking in a leotard and he's got a plump ass.
What was that?
The white buff guards.
Yeah.
Had fat asses.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, Jason noticed.
Did they? I don't notice stuff like that. Not like this side of the couch. Hey, I'm just over here waiting for some poon to come on screen.
But they were hurt by a beef patty. And actually, one got
These are actual sentences of description.
Well, that's the thing, because there's... Okay, so we didn't
You thought you ruined my sphere by filling it with dish cleaning soap, you fool! There was already dish cleaning soap in there. That's not what makes the magic work.
Because he goes to this lady he calls a nurse who's a fortune teller.
Yes.
And she gives him items that she speaks in either another language or it's gibberish.
Девицин, жіночка діді, смішка дівчинка, спенькі, ньончки.
So he can't understand what she's saying or what this is going to be
But
used
she
for.
sees the future.
But yes, he's used her plenty of times in the past where he knows that whatever she gives to him, he's going to be able to make use of in a very specific instance in the upcoming adventure.
Yes.
So she gives him meat
This is a
patties.
cool gimmick, if done right.
And
yeah.
in the last passage, she gives him meat patties and a hot dog.
Yeah,
And the butter.
Milk eggs.
The digital message reminder, the compact recorder that records without tape.
Butter, milk, eggs.
Then reminds you later.
Butter, milk, eggs.
So he uses the meat patties to throw at the
meat patties at the
Are you listening to what you're saying? You're describing Bill Cosby's fucking vehicle. You're saying he takes meat patties and throws them and then bites off a hot dog and his fucking head explodes.
Because he sees
This
a
is
sign
a
that
trauma
says,
movie.
He sees a sign that says no meat, so he remembers they're all vegetarians.
No meat.
Meat. Meat. 100% pure beef. Beef.
Yes.
And for some reason, the meat is sparkling.
Well,
Listen to what
yeah,
he
it's magic. Everything that he is given to by the...
But the ballet shoes aren't magic. He remembers his skills of a dancer from back in the day, even though he doesn't think to use that or just inherently use that talent when he's fighting the dancing bird people. What the fuck is this? The fuck just happened? And then everyone gets melted by. The different colored vats are obviously what was in the tubes inside the sphere, right? So he's throwing Alka-Seltzers in them, but they're also
he finds the longest tube of Alka-Seltzer because he has...
That's a big fucking tube.
My God, there are so many Alka-Seltzers because there are vats of liquid that we don't know exactly what the liquid is, but it's a key component apparently of this.
But doesn't it start bubbling when the? Oh yeah, there's a dude in the wheel. Jesus. All right, there's Stephen Hawking's. Stephen Hawking?
Hawking.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
He doesn't have legs, so he's just a torso. And
he has fake legs. He has prosthetic legs.
So his gag is he's constantly saying, just kill him. Kill them.
Kill him.
Throughout the entire movie, which could be a funny thing.
Should be.
But he's not.
Who is he? He's her husband?
Sure.
So he tries to shoot at Bill and then falls into one of the vats, and the vat starts bubbling. And then Bill thinks to throw the antacid in afterwards.
Yes, at first he makes a joke and he tosses two Alka-Seltzers and he sees that the whole thing starts to react. So he has the idea.
No regard for human life.
No. He has half a human life because that guy is half. And so he has this idea that if he tosses Alka-Seltzers in all the vats will bubble to... whatever, and they take over.
They start bubbling and they kill all the
foam takes over the whole building.
Yeah, if they're chemicals, they'd be melting or burning the henchmen in the...
Probably, yes. But then at the end,
Yeah, Joe Don Baker gets covered in it.
Exactly. It winds
Oh
up...
my God, I forgot we didn't even mention Joe Don Baker is in this.
Does he die from the chemical
I don't know, he
scarring?
seems pretty unfair. He seems
Wait, who
more...
is he? He's part of the
He is the former
CIA.
boss of Bill Cosby.
And lights. All together again. We can do better than that. Put them back on. And lights.
And he's
Right.
the one who calls him back. But at the end, after he is covered with foam and his car is covered with foam, he has almost like, I mean, it's a wide shot, so we don't see a close-up, but it looks almost like a reaction like Lauren Hardy.
Yes.
Because they staying there saying, okay, fine.
Or you
I
got
got
splashed
you.
with a water balloon or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Not like searing dangerous chemicals burning your skin off.
Yeah. And so that's is also even very... And also, the whole final scene...
Stand back. This building's going to blow.
They brought his daughter to the the final showdown of the laboratory with the experiments and the chemicals exploding.
Also, he does say she didn't marry the guy, right? Because I was like, we had no.
No, because the guy at the end, he's working for his restaurant.
Wait, that was who he kissed?
Yes.
Why did she get
Because
naked?
I have no idea. It's why the whole subplot of the daughter wanted to marry the director. Of
It's even mentioned on the back.
Yes.
As part of the. This is his life, but like. He goes to see the show. She disrobes in front of everyone. He gives like his belabored like, oh God, dad.
At first
speech
he is
and
asleep. Then he is.
Well, he sees his daughter's teenage breasts. He wakes
and
right
then
up.
he sees his, and he's aroused because he's Bill Cosby.
But bum. And then the guy next to him is like,
Yeah.
oh wow, and he's like, that's my daughter. I'm like, dude, no, that's you. Do,
Once again,
do something with that.
Who's this movie?
Yeah.
What is this? What's going on?
I'm always surprised when you guys remember any aspect of the movie. You're like, oh yeah, and then there was, he wanted to do this. I'm like, right.
Not to mention that the movie has the score by Elmer Bernstein.
Thank you.
Looks like leftovers from Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
From the opening.
Especially when
the opening, I think, had a
fortune teller comes on.
Yes.
Which I can even hear it as I imitate it in my head as the opening of Ghostbusters. And as soon as Matthew said it, I was like, I wonder if it's Bernstein, and it was.
Yes, and Richard Edlund producing the special effects.
Freddy Krueger?
Yeah, that's Robert Englund. But Richard Edlund also did Ghostbusters.
Isn't it weird how these are just working men with jobs?
Yeah.
It's endlessly fascinating to me because you can't get rid of the glamour. It's just a guy who does music. It's what he wanted to do to gig. It's how he feeds his family. And he just goes to these jobs. But sometimes your job is the iconic, endlessly beloved, couldn't to this day stop the train of merch and love and fans, Ghostbusters. And sometimes it happens to be the abysmal, tuck it away, nefarious, notorious Leonard Part
that's why
6.
probably these were leftovers from Ghostbusters, which was 3 years before. And
Was that opening note is,
Yes.
if you do this, if you literally play, as soon as you said it, I was like, that's got to be the actual guy, because that is exactly... And
I wish I could see the meeting, Elmer Bernstein in the production office. I have an idea. Oh, okay, good.
You guys remember in the intro?
Who are you, sir? What part of the movie are you working on?
Who let you in?
I need to express myself, and I need to experience life at its most raw.
thick door.
Again, at the time, are we trying to deviate like Elizabeth Berkley going from Saved by the Bell to Showgirls? Because why, when you have America's Dad as a bankable persona, let's be adults, let's talk about it the business way, you got America's Dad, and you make a point to put in your movie the wife is pissed because you were in the sauna with a 19-year-old. Now, granted, that's a standard thing in a movie. The jerk husband with the younger woman, he's got to win. Like, that's a standard thing, but it's weirder in the context of you're working with America's Dad at the peak of the America's Dad brand.
And you're adding the word teen into it.
Yes.
Why can't you just say another woman?
Yes.
I never laid a finger on that girl.
Like, that's like, okay,
I mean, again, that's,
why are you pushing that?
That is kind of a trope of, you know, hey, it's
he's pretty old at that point.
But I'm just saying, picture a movie about, like, kids at a mall and they run around like, oh, yeah, you know, Dad's not here this weekend because he's off with his 19-year-old yoga instructor. That's a trope.
But my point, like, it's 22 or 24 or something like that.
Yeah.
Teen, when you throw that word teen into there, it gets even worse.
I get everything you're saying. I'm just saying that I've heard that as a trope. I just think it's weirder when, like Matteo says, remember the context. This is the peak of America's Dad's fame. It's just keep coming back to that question, who the fuck was it for?
What do you guys think Felicia Rashad had to say about this?
He's going to have me to deal with.
All right, this is great. This could go on forever. I'm going to call it. We're going to vote on the LP6, as they call it in hipster Spanish circles. So, I don't know what my feelings are yet, so who wants to start?
I'll start.
Got the LP6. Got a Blu-ray.
Hey, Holmes. You're coming over for Cinco de Mayo. Got the LP6. Director's cut.
I'll start. And it will be a controversial
what do you think?
outcome.
I don't even know how to vote myself. I don't know. I don't know.
Say 2.5.
5. Wait, that's good.
No,
No,
because
it's not
no.
good.
5 would be
It's a
horrible.
joke.
From the point of a movie in itself is dreadful, and probably is again half of the paper that we have in the room would suffice. From the point of view of being entertained, especially if watched with other people, is great. So I will condone a lot of things that this movie has made in terms of choices and everything, because it gave me an hour and 25 minutes of actually fun time with my friends. So I will go simply with 1.5. Oh, this is kind of like a half.
I feel it.
Because of that. Because it's not... If probably had I watched it like last time that I watched it, I watched it by myself and it was a dreadful experience. Because I kept on saying the what is that? But I didn't have...
Dude, we're both getting arrested. What?
Yeah, but we're both gonna get arrested, I think. What?
I didn't have anybody to bounce us off the reactions. Here, it was fun because generally at turns we were saying, what the hell is happening?
I can't get over the sweat. In my brain, my brain was like, Matt, it's funny what Matthew's saying, but like, clearly there's a reason. It must be hot in the vehicle. And I was like, you tend to, the guys get on you for zoning
yes,
out.
you're right.
But like,
I mean, why are you putting it on film?
The overt,
I cannot. Dab him.
Because at least when he is operating, when he's operating on himself, yes, his sweating is justified.
Yes.
And he even dabs him.
But But you think when he's doing all the fucking ballet flips and kicks,
he should be
sopping. Just like fucking a puddle of rain following him wherever he goes, but he's just sitting in a car. He's just sitting in a car with a fucking stupid ass helmet on. I mean, that suit must be hot as fuck.
That was a nice touch.
Shut up, man. Just vote.
All right. So I feel what Matteo said very heavily.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense.
I almost love it for existing because it's like, what is this? I agree that if you put it on by yourself, you might be like, okay, it's just bad. It seems like it'd be hard for a group of friends to watch this and not get some laughs. Bizarre and weird enough that the oddball in me that appreciates a Skinamarink or a Trash Humpers or an Aqua Teen Hunger Force : movie film for theaters for DVD, I am going to go, similar logic to the Italian, 2.5, because I don't know what else to do because there's so much joy in its absurdity, yet it also is genuinely perplexing, and I'm doing the middle of the road because it deserves something and nothing at the same time. What the hell happened? The sweat scene.
And also is not is not an incompetently movie.
No. In fact, like I said, there's
movie.
threads of comedic genius if you can rework
if you can
something, everything.
If you can cut about 85% of it, yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow suit with everything you guys said. Just for sheer enjoyment of bad movie watching with your friends. I'll give it a. Well, give it a. 3.
Sure.
I feel like I gotta go a little harsher because I'm in a really bad mood and my brain is throbbing. So I'm gonna go 3, but for the same reasons.
The sweat pouring off your brow.
The same reasons you guys did. Alone, this probably would be an abysmal watch, but
yes,
with
and
you guys making fun of
probably I wanted to get to the end of the movie, so
I kept thinking that throughout the entire film.
It was, but I remember being tempted more than once to turn it off and say, okay, fine, I need to be in the right humor.
Yes.
Or
yes.
If
right
you guys,
mood,
like we always say, you got to be in the right environment for certain films.
Yes.
MaJaMa.
I was just about to say, if you guys ever wanted to do a MaJaMa Jams topics,
no, thank you.
I am ridiculously passionate and excited about doing. Do movies need to be considered the time, attitude, environment, and company? Can we ever fully judge a movie on just that basis? Or, like we said, this could have been a complete, hey, Matthew, it's the end of your day, go home and watch this. We do jam separately, we need to do a write-up, and then we all put it out on like a blog. And you're just like, no, God, no, I don't care, it's weird, I don't care he's sweating, I'm alone in my house, it's annoying. All of a sudden here, you look over, we're in tears, and it's a joy. I'd like
Listen, as long as you have no further follow-up questions, yes.
Well, guys, that was a hell of a jam. Like I said, that's been in our reservoir for the past 15 years. Matteo's bringing up the name. I think it lived up to it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the absurdity as well. Once again, if you've been around this long, drop us a comment in the comment section appropriately. Leave a like. You could even say we suck. I'm serious. Give us some interaction here, some back and forth. We live or die by it by the YouTube algorithm, but we love doing it, so we're going to be back next week. So from everyone here at the Jams, that was a jam. And we'll see you next week.
Not with Ghost Dead.
Not
yet.
With Ghost Dead.
With Ghost Dead.
We should make a
Cosby night.
We're in a jam. Pun joke.
Oh yeah.
I kind of like it. That was a jam.
No. Something about getting caught in a bad situation.
Yes.
Or
this is a jam.
We could do something like, and like the guy said who was struck in the back of the head when the cop asked him what it was in the middle of the canning fruit shop. That was a jam.
Yeah, nice. But it was
smooth.
But yes, but let's end like every single episode with our catchphrase. No, from Matthew, the catchphrase.
That was the jam.
Yes. It wasn't that one.
And his famous catchphrase, thankfully it was consensual.
Yes.
MaJaMa.
And our next movie is not only the first feature in a long time, starring television's top star, Bill Cosby, but it is also one of the worst movies of the year. I think that is an all-time low. Bill Cosby, the richest man in show business, $67.5 million income last year, reduced to holding a Coca-Cola bottle next to his face in order to get a picture made at Columbia. He ought to be ashamed of himself. 2 thumbs way, way down, though, for Bill Cosby's Leonard Part 6, one of the worst movies this year.